Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Jared with ToneandTitan.com, and this is a 25-minute total body workout that you can do at home with zero equipment required. We're going to work some upper body, some lower body, some core with this one. It's a great workout. We'll do 8 exercises in 40-20 intervals, 40 seconds on, 20 seconds of an active rest. Let's get started with some side steps with arm swings. So to do this one, you're going to drop down into a little bit of a quarter squat position, step to the left while you're swinging your arms forward, take about 3 more steps to the left, all the while swinging your arms, and then go back to the right, again swinging your arms forward and back. We're going to work some quads with this down in the squat. We're going to work some hip abductors. We're also going to get the arms going, the chest and shoulders. Now if you need a little bit higher intensity than that, that's kind of the beginner version of that exercise. I'm going to demonstrate the higher intensity version of all these exercises as well. The higher intensity version would be more of a skater lunge. So now instead of just stepping left and right, we're actually leaping left and right, turning it into a little bit more of a plyometric activity. The arm swing is still there. There's your 40-second high interval. We're going to follow that up again with a 20-second low interval. When I do my low intervals, I like to keep them active, and so that we keep that heart rate up, we stay as active as possible. I'm doing a little bit of a boxer shuffle here. We'll do that for the 20-second low interval period, and the next thing we'll get into is a squat, reverse, row, and reach. Now to do this one, you're going to drop down into that same kind of quarter squat position. Knees are over your toes, your knees are bent, you're hinging forward at your hips, and then we're going to do a row and a reach. So to row, you're going to pull your elbows back behind you and then return to that starting position. The reach, your arms come up and over your head, and then you're going to return to that starting position. Now, if you need a little bit higher intensity on this one, the demonstration I'm giving you here is to actually grab some free weights. Now, you don't necessarily need to grab free weights as long as you grab some sort of resistance. Maybe it's some water bottles, maybe it's some half-gallon milk jugs, anything you can find around the house. Even a couple of large books would suffice for this exercise. So again, it's that squat, reverse, row, and reach. There's our 40-second high interval, and then we're going to follow that up with a 20-second low interval. Again, I'm doing a little bit of a boxer shuffle here. Feel free to jump in with some high knees, some marching in place. You can jog in place. You can jump rope, you can go up and down the stairs. I mean, anything you can do to just kind of keep the heart rate up. Next exercise we're going to get into is a single-legged run on the left. So you'll see that I'm standing on my left, and I'm actually going to demonstrate a couple of different variations on this. And so you'll see here that my right leg and my right arm are coming forward here at the same time. What we're doing here is we're kicking on a little bit more of that hip abductor, so that left muscle on the outside of your hip. We're working hard on that as the right side of the body is moving in the same direction at the same time. We got a 40-second high interval here. Again, this is the single-legged run on our left leg. Finish it up in 3, 2, 1, just like that. Here's your 20-second low interval, and then we'll get into some single-legged running on the right leg. And so again, try to keep active, try to keep that heart rate up. It's not a very long workout, so we want to work as hard as possible to burn as many calories as we can, kind of get in, get out, and get on with your day. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. So now for the single-legged run on the right, the demonstration is a little bit different here. So now you'll see that my left arm is moving back as my left knee is driving forward. Now what we're going to do is actually kick on a little bit more of the core with this. So we got the hip flexors going on. At the same time, that left elbow is pulling back. Going to work the core a little bit harder with this particular variation. If you need a little bit higher intensity, feel free to just kick it up a notch. So I just increased my speed with this. What happens when we increase our speed is you just get in more reps per given interval of time. Also a way to make the exercise a little bit more plyometric, not so static, not so controlled. We just work muscles a little bit differently. And that one's a burner. So there you go. So there's your 40 seconds on that one. Pick whichever version you like. Pick whichever version you feel comfortable with. The important part is that you try to push yourself. Just try to get in a few more reps. Again, we're going to be doing these exercises for 3 sets total. Try to get in a few more sets next round if you can. Alright, moving on. So the next one we're going to do is a side step with a reach. Start with your arms over your head, take a big step to your left, and drop both arms down towards your left foot, and then return to that upright position, coming up towards your left with your arms over your head. And then you're going to take a step towards your right, bring your hands down towards your right leg, and then come back up onto your right leg with your arms over your head. And so kind of the side step, the reach refers to the reach overhead. So we're going to reach over our our head, step left, reach left, and then up and over our head from there. And so if you need a little bit higher intensity for this, again, we're just going to increase the speed, drop down lower into a squat. Again, try to challenge yourself. If you can't drop down very low into the squat, just go as low as you feel like you can. Maybe it's even just a regular side step instead of a side lunge position. Just try to push yourself, try to keep going as best that you can with that one. Okay, there you go. There's your 40-second high interval. Here's your 20-second low interval. And then we're going to do just 3 more exercises. We got a squat with a torso rotation. So you're going to drop down into a squat with both arms straight forward. And then you're going to rotate one arm. So that's my right arm back towards my right. There's my squat. Rotate my left arm back towards my left. Great way that we're going to kick on the quads. We're going to kick on the hips. There's a lot of core work with this as we're kicking on that rotation motion. We're using a lot of oblique muscles, using your shoulders to hold your arms up out in front of you. If you need a little bit higher intensity, you'll see again that I've just increased speed on this. Anytime you increase speed, you're going to increase the intensity. You're just going to work a little harder. Again, I'm going to get more reps in that 40-second high interval period. And 3, 2, 1, there it is. And so it's just a great way to kick on the intensity by increasing your speed. Here's your low intensity interval for 20 seconds. Again, we're doing a boxer shuffle here. If you're jump roping, if you're running in place, maybe you're just walking around the room, I just don't want you to stand statically during these 20-second low interval periods. And so next thing we're going to do is a toe touch kick. And so for this one, arms start up and over your head. You're going to bring your straight leg out in front of you and bring both hands down towards your foot, and then you're going to alternate with the other leg. So here we go. So there's left leg, left leg, and again my hands come up and over my head and they reach down towards my toes each time. If you're looking for something a little more high intensity, we're going to add actually a squat, an air squat between each toe touch. So here's my toe touch right, drop into a squat, toe touch left, drop into a squat. What we're doing here is we're just adding one more movement to this. We're kicking on a lot more quads and hips as we're dropping into a squat between each one of those sets. It's a great way. We're going to work hip flexors. We're going to work some of those anterior core muscles. We're working a lot of shoulders and chest with that one as your arms are going up and over your head. We're doing these large movements to work just as many muscle groups as we can with each one of these individual exercises. Okay, great news. Here's our last one. We're going to do a cross knee pull. So arms are up and over your head, and then you're going to march your left knee up towards your right shoulder while pulling both of your arms to the outside of your knee, and then repeat on the other side. So we're going to march that right knee up towards our left shoulder while pulling both elbows towards the outside of the arm. Now, if you need a little bit higher intensity on this one, again, we're just going to increase the speed here, make it a little bit more of, again, a plyometric activity, work the muscles a little bit harder with this. Great exercise for the arms and the shoulders and the chest and the back as we're going up and over our head. Great exercise for the core as we're introducing that kind of the cross crunch type motion with this. Great for the legs and for the hips as we're moving up and towards the opposite shoulder with that one. Great news. Okay, there's your 40-second high interval. Here's your 20-second low interval. And then we've completed our first set. So here in 5 seconds, what we'll do is we'll take a little break, take 60 seconds, go grab a drink of water, walk around the room a little bit, catch your breath, and meet me back here. We'll jump into our second set. All right, welcome back for set number 2 in our total body workout. You can do at home, no equipment required on this one. Let's jump right back in. First exercise is going to be our side steps with our arm swings. So the first we're going to move to our left, about 3 steps to your left, kind of down in that quarter squat position. It's going to kick on a lot more of the quads and the hips as you're moving left and right if you're down in that quarter squat position. Arms are alternating, swinging forward and back. Get your elbows up in front of you and get your elbows all the way back behind you is the goal here. If you need a little bit higher intensity, we're going to take those simple steps side to side up to the next level by introducing a leap from side to side, kind of make it more of a full skater lunge rather than just a side step. You'll see that the arms are still going big. I want your arms to be as big as you can, meaning I want your elbows up as high as you can in front of you and as far back behind you as you can, really trying to kick on all the muscle groups with those exercises or with those arm movements. Okay, there you go. There's the 40-second high interval. Take that 20-second low interval rest with this kind of active rest, active recovery period. And then we're going to get into the squat, reverse, row, and reach. So down into the half quarter squat position. Go just as low as you can on that one. We want to kick the quads on and the hips, the hip extensors, the glutes are active with that. And then we're going to do some rows, and so pull your elbows back behind you, squeeze your shoulder blades together to row, and then return to the starting position. The reach comes in where you're going to actually reach your arms up and over your head. A great way to kick on some of the upper shoulders, the traps, the rhomboids, and some of the rear kind of shoulder muscles with that one. Great exercise. If you need a little bit higher intensity, again, I grab a pair of dumbbells. If you don't have any dumbbells available, no problem. Find whatever you can lying around your house to just add some resistance to this. Again, it's a great way to actually strength train some of those muscles in your back and in your upper back that so many of us neglect so much. Okay, so there's your 40-second high interval period. We'll follow that up with our 20-second of a low interval period, and we'll get into the one-legged run coming up. And so again, we're going to do the one-legged run here on the left. I've got both my right arm and my right leg driving forward at the same time on this, really trying to stabilize that left leg. It's a great way that you're going to work a lot of quad. You're going to work a lot of the hip abductors with this on that down leg. So on my left side right here, working a lot of trunk and a lot of torso, really getting the heart rate up as we do these single-legged runs right here. If you need a little bit higher intensity, what I'm going to do is kick it up with a increased speed with this one. And so you'll see now that I'm just taking a few more steps with that right leg, right arm's going twice as hard as we're going for these single-legged runs. And again, it's up to you how hard you go, how fast you go. My object with this video is to just give you a couple of different options. Okay, I want you to try to push yourself whatever you can do for those 40-second period. Maybe it's just the kind of the lower intensity, maybe it's just the higher intensity, maybe it's kind of a mix of both like what I'm showing you here. The important thing is that you try to push yourself. Okay, let's get into the single-legged runs on the right. And so you'll see now what I'm doing is I'm actually bringing my left arm back as my left leg comes forward with this one. Just a little bit different variation on this. Some people like it one way, some people like it the other. Maybe you try both. Maybe you do 20 seconds with the same arm, same leg motion, and then 20 seconds with the reciprocal motion like I'm demonstrating right now. Again, the important part is that you're active and that you're trying to push yourself, that you're trying to just do as many of these as you can. We're trying to get that heart rate up. We're trying to keep it up. Again, this is only a 25-minute workout. It doesn't take that long. You can definitely do it right around the house with not a lot of equipment and not a lot of space required. And so just try to push yourself as hard as you can on that. Okay, there's your there's your 40-second high interval period. Let's follow that up with our 20-second low interval period before we get into our next exercise, which is going to be the sidestep and reach. And so again, to do the sidestep and reach, what we're going to do is start with both hands over our head, take a big lunge step over to the left leg while dropping both hands down towards the left side, and then both hands come back up over your head as you stand up on your left leg, and then you're going to repeat that to the right. So there's the side lunge to the right while I reach down towards my right foot, and then you're going to come back up onto that right foot. And so you're sidestepping side to side. If you need a little bit higher intensity, you'll see that now I'm just dropping lower into a lunge, and so instead of just kind of my fingertips were getting down about to my kneecaps on that lower intensity demonstration, on this higher intensity demonstration you'll see that I'm just dropping down lower into a lunge. Arms are reaching down a little bit lower towards my feet as I alternate back and forth. And there's your 40-second high interval on that. Here's your 20-second low interval. Maybe you're marching in place. If you've got a jump rope, that's another great way to kind of keep that heart rate up, even just walking around the room. I mean, all these things are different things that you can do just to not let your body totally relax. I just want you to stay as active as you can during that 20-second low interval period. Our next one's going to be our squats with our torso rotation. So you're going to start with both arms straight in front of you, drop as low into a squat as you can go, return from your squat, and then reach one arm back around behind you. So here's my squat, reach your arm around towards the left while rotating left, another squat, reach your arm around to the right while rotating right. Higher intensity is going to be increased speed. You can also drop lower into the squat. Squats are a great way. We're working a lot of glutes, we're working a lot of hamstrings, we're working a lot of quads with that. Try to keep your knees right over your toes and your weight back on your heels. When we add that torso rotation to each one, we're kicking on a lot of core with that. We're using internal, external obliques. We're also using a lot of shoulder muscles as we're keeping our arms straight out in front of us. Okay, very nice. So there's your 40-second high interval, 20-second low interval, and then we're going to get into some of those toe touch kicks. Now on this one, so we're going to start with both arms above our head. The right leg kicks up as we drop our hands down towards our right toes, and then the left leg kicks up as we drop our hands drop towards our left toes. Now with this, don't feel like you have to go quite as high as I'm necessarily demonstrating here. Even if you just lift that straight leg up off of the ground, that's still a great step in the right direction. Try to push yourself, try to go as high as you can. If you do need a little bit higher intensity, you can add that squat between each kick. So here I am reaching towards my right, there's my squat, and then I'm going to reach down towards my left again. Arms come up and over your head. We're doing a lot of arm, we're doing a lot of upper body motion with this, we're doing a lot of lower body motion with this. As we bring them together, that actually kicks on a lot of core with this as well. So the goal here, again, total body workout, it's only going to take us 25 minutes to get through, and so we want to just incorporate as many of those large muscle groups as we possibly can. That's exactly what these exercises are designed to do. Our last one for this, our second set, is going to be the cross knee pulls. So both arms up and over your head. Here I'm going to march my right knee up towards my left chest while my elbows drop down towards the outside of my right knee, and then you're going to repeat that on the left side. So again, left elbow kind of marches up towards my right knee while both elbows drop towards the outside of my left knee. Again, we're using a lot of upper body here, we're using a ton of lower body, using a lot of core as we're working in that rotation motion when we're coming up and down. We're also doing some trunk flexion as we're bringing the knees and the elbows towards each other. Just a great way that we can kick on a ton of muscle groups in not a ton of time and also in not a ton of space. Higher intensity was, again, just increasing the speed with that, more reps per given unit of time. And I've got great news. So there's our second set. We've completed all 8 of those exercises in this, our second set. We'll do the same thing we did on the first one. Take 60 seconds, grab a drink of water, towel off a bit, and come back ready for more. We've got one more set to get through. Alright, and welcome back to this, your third and final set on our total body workout that you can do at home right here on Tone and Tighten. Hope you guys have been enjoying this so far. Let's see if we can smash through one more set. First exercise is going to be those side steps with the arm swings. So again, down into a quarter squat position, stepping about 3 steps to your left and then about 3 steps to your right. The big thing here is that I want those arm swing motions as big as possible. Okay, so get your elbows all the way back behind you when they swing backwards. Get them all the way up as high as you can in front of you as they swing forward. If you need a little higher intensity, kick your side steps into some side jumps. So now all of a sudden we're leaping from side to side. We're doing a full skater lunge position. Those arm swings are still the same. I want you to take them through as big a motion as you can. Great exercise to work a ton of muscles in the upper body, also a ton of muscles in your lower body. Kicks on a little bit of some cardio, the higher intensity that you try to take that. This is your last set, so try to finish strong. Maybe you've been doing the beginner version of these exercises for your first 2 rounds. Maybe you try a few of the higher intensity exercises for this last round. The important part is that I want you to try to push yourself, try to make those changes that you're desperately trying to make happen in your body. Here we go, squat, reverse, row, and reach. And so down in that quarter squat position, you'll see that I'm hinging forward at my hips, that my back stays nice and straight. I don't want you to round your back forward. And then you're going to row your arms back behind you, return to that starting position, lift both arms up in front of you, and then return back to that starting position. Is what the squat, reverse, row, and reach look like. So here's my squat, reverse, row, and there's my squat, reach right there. Need a little bit more higher intensity than what I showed you in the beginner version. Here's kind of the intermediate advanced version, would be to grab some sort of resistance. Just kicks on those back muscles a little bit more. So great way to work the rhomboids, great way to work the shoulders, great exercise right there for just the total body. There's your there's your 40-second high intensity interval, whichever one you decide to do. Again, just try to push yourself, try to do as much as you can with what you've got. Here's your 20-second low interval period. We'll finish up the boxer shuffle, and then we'll get into the one-legged run on the left side here. And so again, for the left-legged demonstration, one more time, I'm bringing both my arm and my knee forward at the same time. what we're doing here is we're just putting a ton of load on that left hip. We're also making the right side of the body work hard as we're in that running in place type motion, just like that. If you need a little bit higher intensity, go ahead and feel free to kick your speed up a little bit. Again, this is our last set, so I want you to try to push yourself as hard as you can and try to keep up. Here we go. We only got 8 seconds left. Great exercise, doesn't take a ton of room, no equipment required. We're done in 3, 2, 1, just like that is the single-legged run on the left side. We'll take a 20-second low interval period. Again, we'll kind of treat this like an active rest, active recovery period, and then we'll do our 20-second run over on, or excuse me, our 40-second run over on that right side as well. Here we go, just about 3, 2, 1. Now let's get over into the right-legged run. And so my right leg is the one that's standing down on the ground. Left knee comes forward as the left elbow goes back. Right arm is also coming forward, kind of feels like a running motion. This one personally feels maybe a little more natural to me, but maybe you try them both out. Again, it works muscles just a little bit differently, one variation to the other, and so try them both out and see which one that you like, see which one challenges you a little bit more. Again, if you need a little bit higher intensity on this one, here we go with just the higher speed. We're going to increase the rate to get in a few more reps in the given 40-second interval of time here. 3, 2, 1. And you made it through. Those are the single-legged runs. We did them on the left, we did them on the right, we did a little bit of a boxer shuffle in between. We're going to do a little bit more of a boxer shuffle, and guess what? I've got great news. We're halfway done through this, our third and final set. Again, total body workout. We're using a ton of muscles on this one. We're working a lot of different exercises that are designed to sculpt and tone a lot of different muscle groups. Okay, here we go. So now let's get into the side step and reach. So the big side step to the left while you reach down towards your left foot. Again, the beginner version here is it's not very deep of a squat. You go with your toes just as low as you can down towards your knees. If you do need a little bit higher intensity on this, we can increase speed. We can also drop lower into a lunge. And so now you'll see that I'm actually bending my leg a lot more. My fingers are dropping actually a lot lower down towards my toes as I'm doing that side step or as I'm doing that side lunge. So again, big side step to the left, reach down towards your left as low as you can. Follow that up with a big side step to the right while you reach down as close to your right as you can. So there's the 40-second high interval. Follow that up with our 20-second low interval. We're going to try to keep the heart rate up. Again, it's just a 25-minute workout, so I want you guys to push yourselves on this. I want you to try to be as active as you possibly can during your low interval periods. And then let's get into our squats with a torso rotation. So to do this one, our feet are shoulder width apart. We drop down into the squat. Again, try to keep your knees right in line with your toes. Try to keep your weight back on your heels. Arms are reaching straight out in front of you. As you come up from the squat, you're going to rotate so that right arm back behind you as far as you can while rotating your shoulders back with your arm. So we're introducing a lot of the torso rotation with this. Higher intensity would be just increase your speed. Try to drop lower into a squat are all ways that you can work a little bit harder with this exercise. We're working a ton of the hips. We're working a lot of the quads and the hams with this. We're working a lot of the core muscles as we're working the lower back as we're doing the squats. We're working the obliques as we're doing the rotation. You're doing a lot with even your upper body with your shoulders as you're holding your arms out in front of you and as you rotate them back behind you with that. There you go. So there's the 40-second higher interval period. Here's our 20-second active rest, active recovery interval period. And then we're going to get into our next exercise. It's going to be the toe touch kicks. Again, the goal here, you don't necessarily have to go as high as I'm going. It's definitely a great way. It's a great way that you can actually stretch your hamstrings out, kind of a dynamic stretch to your hamstrings. We're working a lot of hip flexors and your core, kind of the anterior abdominal muscles with this. But don't feel like you have to go necessarily as high as I am. So we're just trying to keep your legs straight, lift it up off of the ground while bringing both hands down towards your leg, just like that. If you do need higher intensity, here I am doing a squat between each of these exercises. There's the straight leg kick on the right, squat, straight leg kick on the left. Looks just like that. And so great exercise, kicks on a lot of lower body, upper body, core with that. That's the whole name of this game, is that we're working as many muscle groups as we can. We're trying to push things as hard as we can. Total body workout, just about coming up on our 24 and 25 minutes. We're just about done with this one, you guys. We've got one more exercise we got to do. Here we go. Finish it up strong. This is our last one. It's going to be some of those cross knee pulls. And so again, both arms are up above your head. March your left knee up towards your right shoulder while dropping both elbows down to the outside of that left knee, and then repeat on the right side. So the right knee marches up towards your left shoulder while you're dropping both of those elbows down towards the outside of your right knee. Make sure you get your arms up and over your head each time. Make sure you kick that leg, get that knee just as high as you can each time. I tell people try to go till your thighs are parallel, and so that means just get that knee up as high as you can until it's parallel with the ground. And then we're really going to focus on squeezing the abs while you do this. We're working a lot of upper body, we're working the hip flexors, we're working a lot of lower body with this, but you're definitely going to feel that one in your core. All right, great news. There is your third and final set on this, our total body workout that you can do at home. You're watching Tone and Tighten right now. If you haven't done so, it's a great chance to subscribe to my channel so you never miss a workout video in the future. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. That means a lot to me. I appreciate that in advance. And we'll see you next time right here on Tone and Tighten.